Tenpai is here, but is it ruining Yu-Gi-Oh? Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are taking a look at Tenpai. The Fire Dragons are finally here, aka Mahjong, I believe. It's a reference to Mahjong. I'm not entirely caught up on the lore. But I'm sure most of you have already heard and seen and all of that stuff. But yeah, Tenpai, the idea behind Tenpai is pretty simple. Draw the out. Smile. Tenpai is an OTK deck that can OTK pretty effortlessly through a lot of interruptions. Mostly due to this singular card, which says, during your main phase 1, Fire Dragon monsters you control are unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. Which are all of your monsters. Cool. So if this resolves, the opponent can't do anything. Cool. It's awful. However, with that being said, it also surges a Tenpai, which is great. Oh, and also if it's destroyed, it doubles a Dragon Synchro monster's attack. Cool. So overall, the main gimmick is basically play a whole bunch of hand traps and or non-engines, such as board breakers and the like, and then punch your opponent really hard in the face through interruptions. That's it, right? So let's just quickly do the card by card and the explanation. Starting off, I'm going to start with the non-engine because it's going to be simpler. We're playing 3 Maxi, 2 Gamma, as well as the driver, 3 Ash Blossom, and 3 Infip as hand traps, and then of course Shifter and Magnamut as well. Then we are also playing a bunch of other random non-engine. I'm playing Crossout for the mirror match, and that's basically it. We're also playing the 2 Lightning Storms, the Harpy's Feather Duster, and 3 Droplet. And yeah, these are just like the best board breakers here. Lightning Storms, Harpy's Feather Dusters, and stuff like that are for back row, as well as, of course, the 2 red reboot. This is basically necessary. Please play this. It is obscenely powerful. I know some people haven't been crafting it. Craft it. Craft it right now. Decraft something else. If you're playing Tenpai and you're not playing this, you're playing it wrong. This card's insane. There you go. Also, we're playing Pot of Prosperity. Now, I know what you're saying. Wait, why are we playing Pot of Prosperity? Don't we want to OTK our opponent and this halves the damage? You're right. It does not matter. Tenpai can just deal that much damage. It's just stupid. Anyway, let's go through the rest of the Tenpai cards. We're playing 3 apiece of Pydra, Chundra, and Kaiman. Pydra searches a spell trap on summon, as well as has the ability to quick synchro during the battle phase. Chundra, oh, it also has a lingering effect where you take no battle damage. Cool. Chundra has the effects to special summon itself, and then also add, during the battle phase, quick synchro as well, using it as material. And if you control a fire dragon, what is it? At the start of the damage step, you can special summon a fire dragon from your deck. Now, this is obscenely stupid. Do you want to know why? Because if you activate the Chundra effect, your opponent cannot Ash Blossom, your opponent cannot activate Sprite Red, or anything else of that nature to interact with it there. So, yeah, and you also get a special summon from the deck, which would also then trigger something like a Pydra or a Fadra or something like that as well, which would also be in that weird timing window where you can't really activate a whole lot of things. So, there's that. It's really, it's fair. Next up we have Fadra, right? We're playing 2 apiece of this. We'll get into the Kaiman in a second. We're playing 2 apiece of Fadra, which is on summon, reborn a guy, reborn a level 4 or lower dragon monster from your grave, and then on top of that, you can't be your fire dragons can't be destroyed by battle. Great. And then it also has the quick synchro effect. Next up, we have Genroku. Genroku has the effect where if it's added, it's a Poplar, it special summons itself, and then it can increase its level by 1, and it is a tuner. And then quick effect, you can tribute it in order to special summon a Tenpai from deck. And yeah, it's just a good, solid piece. Also, you are then locked into dragons for the rest of that turn. So this is one of the pieces that does lock you into dragons. Well, I'm also playing 1 Dora Dora. It's fine if it's normal summon to you search a level 4 or lower dragon. Normally you're searching the Genroku. Sometimes you'll search something like a Chundra. And then on top of that, once per turn during your main phase, you can excavate the top card. And if it is a fire dragon, this gains 1,000 attack. Otherwise, place it onto the bottom of the deck. Not really that big of a deal, but it's just kind of like an extra normal summon, but for the most part, I feel like it's not really all too important. And then we're playing 3 Kaiman, which says, apply one of these effects, unless it's the battle phase, in which case, do both. Which says, add a level 4 or lower fire dragon monster from your deck to your hand, or special summon a fire dragon monster from your hand. But if it's the battle phase, you just search a guy, and then special summon it. Now, ultimately, what this accomplishes is pretty much all of these cards are 1-card combos. Pydra, Chundra, Summoning, Kaimin, Genroku, Dora Dora. They're all one card combos. That's it. They could do the full OTK with a singular card. Wild, right? So if you end up seeing any additional ones, you can play through additional interactions, which is, again, crazy. Now, what does the OTK actually look like? I'm gonna quickly explain it. Basically, you summon a bunch of these guys. Also, notably, the quick synchros are not hard once per turns, they are soft once per turns, meaning you can reborn the guy during the battle phase, which the synchros have the ability to do that, and then just quick synchro again. So, with that in mind, you attack a whole bunch of times, you clear the board, or prevent them from really making that big of a board. Then you attack with your monsters, great. And then you synchro into Bite into Dragion, which says if this card is synchro summoned, you can target a fire dragon in your graveyard, reborn it. Also, you're locked into dragons. Then, if 3 or more attacks have been declared this turn, you can special summon this card from your grave and pop a spell trap. Now remember, the field spell boosts synchro monsters attack, doubling it. So you can pop your own card in order to double this card, or something like Trident Dragion, or Transcendent Dragion as well. You can boost their attack damage. Now, with that in mind, you can reborn something like a Pydra or a Fadra, and then that will allow you to then use their effects in order to quick synchro into the level 10, which is Transcendent Dragion, which says, all monsters your opponent controls must attack if able. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects during the battle phase. You can make this under Song and Summoning, and then go to the battle phase, and then just your opponent can't do anything. Also, if this card is synchro summoned, you can change all monsters you're on the field to attack position. If 3 or more monsters have been, if 3 or more attacks have been declared, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your grave, then destroy a card in the field. Cool. So, it prevents your opponent from doing anything during the battle phase, switches all of their monsters to attack position, and then kills them. Awesome. 10 out of 10. No notes. Now, remember, you can use all of these guys' effects in order to go into things like Bite and Dragon, and Bite and Dragon can reborn guys. And instead of maybe going for Transcendent Dragion, you could also go Trident Dragion, which says must be synchro summoned. When this card is synchro summoned, target up to 2 cards other than this card. Destroy those targets, and if you do, you gain an additional attack for each card destroyed. So, Papa Songun Summoning, it becomes 6,000. It attacks twice. That alone is 12,000 damage. So yeah, there's a ton of ways to just OTK. The rest of these cards are here for corner cases and for going first. Seals is for going first, being able to summon out something like a Magnemite or just one of your other dragons in order to give yourself protection, most notably something like Genroku. We also have the ability to, steal our opponent's, Chundra or Pydra or something like that with Hita, and then go into Promethean Princess, which is also fairly decent. We also can go into other things like Samurai Destroyer for the Tenpai mirror match. If your opponent goes to the battle phase and you have the ability to quick synchro, you can quick synchro into the Samurai Destroyer and turn off their cards, and that's pretty much it. This is also for like blowing up the field if you need to, under the effect of the Songun Summoning. So that's pretty much it. Let's hop into the duels and show you how this deck performs. Alright, here we are, going second, and Lightning Storm, Ash Blossom, and then Genroku and Kaimin is pretty decent. My opponent is going to normal summon the Ariana, and we're going to just Ash that. Since I have the second Ash Blossom here, it's pretty good for me. They're going to go here for the Big Welcome, and then set an additional 2 cards, but hey, look, we have the Lightning Storm. As long as it's not an anti-spell, we should be fine. We have to Ash the Welcome here. It may seem strange, but if they go for Lovely Labyrinth off of that, we wouldn't be able to Ash, so we just have to do that. We go for the Lightning Storm here. They special summon out to this guy. They bounce back the guy. They're going to activate their effect in order to pop a card. Doesn't really matter what they popped because we drew the Dora Dora, and also we had full combo off of any of the other 2 cards, so it doesn't really matter. Normal summon the Genroku, and yeah, fun. Alright, so what do we do going first? Well, here we have ourselves the Pydra and the Chundra, which is fantastic. So we're going to normal summon the Pydra, to which my opponent will go for the infit. Also, my opponent chose to go second, so obviously they're also on Tenpai. And so yeah, we're going to go for the Chundra here. We're going to activate its effect, or sorry, we're going to Synchro Summon here into the Dragion, which may seem a bit strange, but the main reason that I do this is because I know my opponent's on Tenpai. There's no shot that they're not on Tenpai, right? So by going for this, we put this into the grave, which means that if they then activate, or if they then attack, we get to then bring this guy back, which is great. So they would have to kill us in less than 3 attacks, or be able to make the level 10 prior to us, prior to them going to battle phase, basically. Or prior to that 3 summons, or 3 attacks, right? So it kind of just forces some things there, but also we can like go for the Biden Dragon, bring back a guy, and then synchro or link off into seals. My opponent has the Gamma, so it didn't matter, but we're gonna set the Imperm, and we have Imperm and Maxi, and just kind of a prayer. I fire the Maxi immediately because I have Chundra as follow-up, so we have the ability to OTK my opponent, so even if it's just a turn skip, it's good enough. We draw Droplet, which is not great, but we're gonna go for the Chundra here. They Imperm correctly, so I can't really do anything, so there you go, and we set a card and pass the turn. My opponent is going to draw here and then pass. Look, they bricked. Don't know what to tell you. Anyway, we draw Maxi, which is comedy and not really all that useful. I attempt to go to the battle phase. My opponent goes for the Veiler. I just get in my 1500 damage and pass the turn. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They're going to go for the Pydra here, to which I will Imperm, obviously. Now, they can't really go to the battle phase, because if they did, they would trigger my Chundra, which is not great, so they just concede their Tenpai mirror matches, am I right? Alright, now here we are going second, and yeah, that's a pretty good hand, if I do say so myself. And my opponent is going to reveal that they are also on Tenpai, and I'm just going to Imperm that Pydra. No. They're going to go for the Songen here. They're going to search out the Chundra. They're going to activate the effect of the Chundra. They're going to special summon it. Synchro here into the Biden Dragon. Activate the effect of the Biden Dragon. And then Synchro here, link off here into the Seals, which is pretty good, all things considered. However, my hand is insane, and the red reboot to cap it all off. And so we're going to go for the Genroku, to which my opponent will go for the Ash Blossom, to which I will respond in kind with a cross out because I'm just better. And then we go for the Pydra here, to which I will promptly fire the red reboot. And yeah, sure, you can set your additional Imperm. That's fine. We're going to go for the Song and Summoning here. We're going to activate its effects, to which my opponent will activate their effect of the Seals in order to go for the Fodra. I'm going to Droplets here the Fodra, so that they just no effect there. We're going to go to the battle phase, walk over with the Pydra, then activate the Song and Summoning, and concession. It's just that simple. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is awful. It's not really fun to play, and it's not really fun to play against. And the reason being is because it does not really matter how you play. There's a few things that you can do to make sure that you're not like misplaying and stuff like that, and to guarantee that you get the win. But for the most part, like 90% of the match is determined, unless it's a mirror match, in which case I think a little bit more is determined by how you play. But like 90% of all of your games are determined simply by whether or not you draw it, or your opponent draws it, right? If your opponent is playing Tenpai, did they win the coin flip? Or more specifically, did they draw enough interaction to prevent you from actually doing anything? Right? Did you play against Yugioh, and they were able to get like Spirit of Yugioh onto their field during the battle phase? Uh-oh, how do you got that? That's a bit of an issue, right? Stuff like that, where it's just like, well, sometimes they just draw the out, and sometimes they don't. And that's pretty much all Tenpai games. Is this deck absolutely insane? Of course, especially in a best of one where you don't really have the ability to side deck or force them to go first or anything like that, so you're just kind of stuck playing Tenpai, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the best deck. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It is. We knew it would be. And yeah, I can't wait for Song and Summoning to get banned. Please, dear Lanta, at least let me interact with them. Then it's fine. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like it very much, so appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.